you know exactly how these players are going to be feeling waking up this morning as they already have done. What is it like when you're waking up at the moment of another key knockout match?
I think the obvious thing is that you're nervous. I think anyone who says they're not, I think is telling a porky, to be perfectly honest. You're going to feel it. I don't think you can play a game of football without having butterflies in your stomach. I think you need that to give you an edge, and it's on their mind thinking, be on your mind thinking that next stage of, you know, some of them, a lot of them I should say, and that squad have been to a semi-final already. That's the bonus. That's an absolute bonus to have as a player, to have that in your locker as such, knowing that feeling and knowing how to control it.
Paul, you were a fullback. Now, Dembele or Mbappe, what one you was like to come up? I'm probably sure you're probably neither of them, but, you know, how would you manage to handle? Because you were quick. So, a bit like Kyle Walker, he's quick, so, you know.
Yeah, well, if I was on your first bit, a choice, I'd always go with Dembele, I think, really. Because there's more about his game which is obvious. You know exactly what he's going to do, so there's more chance of you being successful against him. You know that he's never going to use his right foot. Everything is going to be in his left. If he gets around the outside, is he going to do anything quick? He doesn't do it. I was fortunate enough to sit and be out there and watch him play and Mbappe play. And when you actually see a player live and I'm sitting quite low, you just realise, look at Mbappe, and his pace is incredible. He floats, and doesn't matter. You know, Matty Cash, he struggled, really struggled against him. And, you know, and he isn't a slouch either. So Dembele, you'll try and force him onto his right foot where he doesn't want to be. He's awkward on it, doesn't want to do it. Mbappe, you need help. So, and I mean that seriously, by the way, Tony, is that you can't just do it on your own. Because I was at the England-Senegal game, and on 3 occasions, Kyle Walker got run. And one of them, you could see the frustration in his face that he got beaten. It really hurt him when he got beaten by, I can't remember who the player was. So he's not back to his full pace. That's after being in and out for so long. It takes a while to get back there. So Mbappe, in my opinion, he's mostly aware of it, how long and he's going to play a game against him as Kyle Walker's going to want to get up against Mbappe. But getting too tight, he's going to need help from John Stones on his right-hand side. And if he doesn't get tight enough, he's going to need help in the fact of someone just being in front of him and stopping the ball getting to him easy. Get him not allowed to get the ball too deep to run at Kyle Walker.
These are the challenges, though, that a defender wants to face. Kyle Walker will no doubt relish this. Are you thinking that Gareth Southgate should stick with a back four?
Oh, yeah, he has to stick with a back four. I mean, it isn't about being outpassed too much in midfield or being overloaded. So having a back four, and I think it's just a strength of our game as a back four. We tried back five. We did back five in my time for a reason. But England to be consistently playing with a back five, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like you're trying to cover up and trying to bring someone in or cover up something that isn't working right, overcompensate, I should say, with players if you play with a back five. So it has to be a four. The players know a four. Kyle Walker loves a challenge, and he mostly, you know, and I don't know Kyle at all, but I'm sure that he would be looking forward because he knows if he does well against Mbappe, what difference that will make to him. He's standing because you look at it and he's the one player that if he was, you know, if fitness had been right, he would never be out that right back berth. We wouldn't be talking about Reece James or a Trippier taking that spot off of him. He'd always be there in a Gareth Southgate team.
I was going to say to you, Paul, because I said this morning about one player and ultimately makes a difference of a team, and I believe that there are players that have that impact. Now, Mbappe's got 5 goals. Dembele's got none. He's got 6 in the last World Cup. So it's already telling you he's got 2 against Denmark, 2 against Poland. He's, on his own, is literally driven this French team. So this individual is so out there, so special, that you have to stop him.
You got to stop him, and normally you don't get obsessed with one player as such, but I think you have to with him because his game just isn't about pace. And, you know, just being there and watching him play, seeing him play live rather than on the TV set, you know, he doesn't. What he's got that he's in that role of you don't want him to make a tackle, you don't want him tracking back, you want him to win your games of football. So he doesn't track back all the way. So as a fullback, you think, right, I'm going to run forward and make sure he's going the other way you can run forward as far as you want, even go and get a cup of coffee. He's not going to be joining you because he's going to say, no, I'm staying in this last third because I'm going to go and score goals or make goals. So that's the problem that you got there. You lose an attacking player as such. Kyle Walker, pace-wise, is a threat going forward, but he's not going to want to go forward because Mbappe is not going to track him all the way. Players are willing to do that job for him. But then when you've got Mbappe, you think about in the middle, you've got Griezmann. Now, Griezmann's another player who's got older. He maybe lost that early injection of pace. So all of a sudden he's moulded himself into a really, really good central midfield player. He's passing. And Dembele gets a lot of the ball because he will hug the touchline. Most of his work comes from Griezmann giving him the ball from the centre of the park, knocking long, just changing the ball from middle to the right-hand side. So that's something else that England would have to be aware of.
And there's also the threat of Olivier Giroud.
Oh, Giroud, yeah. I mean, at the moment, he's enjoying the moment that he's passed Henry.
Yeah.
He knows himself. He's only holding it for a while because Mbappe's going to have that soon, isn't he, as such? Yes. So he's only just there, but he's enjoying it. And Giroud is like maybe one of the most underrated centre-forwards there's been. I mean, he didn't get enough, really, for Arsenal. Chelsea fans absolutely loved him. And, OK, he's, when you look at it, it's not just about his goals, it's his work rate. He never stops working. You just see him in that French side and he works so hard because I think he's enjoying it because he's saying to himself, well, I'm lucky to be playing here because if Benzema doesn't go lame, I might not be playing. Well, he wouldn't be playing, would he, in front of Benzema? And they're missing at least 4 key players, the French, and yet they haven't looked troubled.
Well, we as football fans may well be worried about the threat of Mbappe, but I'm sure the French are also equally as worried about England. Richard Allen, thank you for your tweet. You've just pointed that out. They may well just be as worried about England as we are about Mbappe and co.